Ahead and go into a subcommittee while we're waiting on a few members to establish a quorum. We will begin today with Senate Bill 1451. Senator Henderson, please begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee members. For the record, Mike Henderson, State Senator from the 3rd Senatorial District, here today to present Senate Bill 1451, dealing with fast-track grants. If some of you remember a few years ago, this was one of the piece of legislation that was pushed as part of the workforce development program by then Governor Parsons to try to do this. I've always been a big believer in workforce development. We're going to grow the economy. We have to have the workforce. And I think sometimes if we can grow our own, we're doing a big service for the state of Missouri. So let me give you a little bit of background. In 2019, the Missouri General Assembly passed the Fast Track Workforce Incentive Grant Program. These grants help qualified applicants in high-demand fields cover tuition and fees not otherwise paid through financial aid. The program is working and is actively helping Missourians gain the skills they need for better-paying jobs, which is what we all want. Senate Bill 1451 is straightforward. It increases the maximum gross eligibility threshold from 80 to 100 for taxpayers who are married jointly and from 40 to 50 for all other taxpayers. The income limits will be adjusted annually based on inflation. This update is necessary because the inflation has pushed many working Missourians just above the current eligibility limits, even though they still need assistance. By increasing these thresholds, Senate Bill 1451 ensures that individuals who need a little extra help can continue to benefit from the Fast Track Grant Program. Expanding eligibility will help more Missourians access training for high-demand, higher-paying jobs. I give an example. I think minimum wage is going to $15 an hour. So what's happening is, we all know we've had inflation in the last 4 or 5 years, and it's moved some people who probably need to take advantage of the program out, and we would like to see them be able to take advantage. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I will take any questions.
Thank you, Senator. Do we have any questions? Seeing none. First up that would like to testify in favor, please come forward. And just a reminder to everyone that testifies, please be sure to leave a witness form.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm Brian Milner, the president of the Missouri Community College Association. We just want to go on record in support of Senator Henderson's bill. The Fast Track program has been immensely helpful to our efforts as a state in getting adult learners back into the workforce. Our community colleges are a huge supporter of the program and have been kind of the greatest user of it in terms of where students are going. And this effort to expand will just ensure that Fast Track is accessible to a few more people, and we think that is a really important step.
Thank you for your testimony. Do we have any questions? Seeing none, next up they would like to testify in favor.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Alex Eaton representing Ozark Technical Community College, would like to go on record in support of Senate Bill 1451. OTC is the largest user of Fast Track. Last year we had 173 students go through the program and 300 students total. A lot of those, the top programs used are nursing, auto body tech, and health IT. The sponsor and Brian did a great job going through it. Happy to take any questions, but we've been a long supporter of this and appreciate Senator Henderson bringing it forward.
Do we have any questions? Seeing none. Next up in favor.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Chance Hepla here on behalf of the Missouri Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Just want to go on record in support of this legislation as similar sentiments have been conveyed. This program has resulted in extraordinary results, not only for prospective employees and Missourians across the state, but also to employers as a whole. As many of you know, workforce development tends to be top of priority for many of our employers, trying to find well-trained, high-skilled talent is incredibly important for our employers. And not only is that important for employers, but the employees too are able to access real quality, high-paid jobs. So again, the Missouri Chamber is happy to go on record in support of this legislation.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Seeing none.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in favor?
Mr. Chairman, Shannon Cooper today representing Metropolitan Community College, the Greater Kansas City Chamber of Commerce, as well as the Civic Council of Greater Kansas City. We just want to go on record in support of this program. Metropolitan Community College has a great relationship with our business community, and this program has helped us retool and train a lot of adults to go into different fields when the need's been shown in the Kansas City region. So for that reason, we're here today, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Seeing none.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Next up in favor? Anyone here to testify in opposition? Anyone for informational purposes only? Senator, do you have any closing remarks?
No, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Our next bill being heard today is Senate Bill 1425. Senator Gregory, begin whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Curtis Gregory, State Senate District 21. Be really brief on this piece of legislation. We are going to extend the sunset on the current business facility tax credit by 10-year period. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Do you have any questions? Senator Lewis?
Good morning.
Morning.
I just want to point out something I heard at an event we were at during the interim. We got to see the filming of Ted Lasso.
What?
In.
Hang on. We're not quite on that one yet. No, this is 1425. Next. That one will be next. And I'll be happy to answer that question then.
Well, now we got to hurry up and get to this one because I'm very curious. Any further questions? Seeing none. Anyone that would like to testify in favor of this bill, please come forward.
Thank you. Appreciate your time. I am Mike Brown, president of Burns McDonnell International, and we're here today in support of the business facility tax credit. Burns McDonnell is located in Kansas City, Missouri, established in 1898, 128 years employee-owned. Worldwide, we have 15,000 employees, and more important than that, we've been established in Kansas City for 128 years. We have 5,000 employees. We grow at about a 10% pace. We anticipate growing 500 people in our KC operations this year. In addition to that, we have 500 people in St. Louis as well. The extension of this tax credit allows us to have certainty. Quite frankly, we are busting at our seams. We need to look at new buildings, new campus, and all that, and this allows us the flexibility and certainty to make decisions to make sure that we can continue to build and be a partner of the state of Missouri for the foreseeable future. In addition to that, I will tell you the one thing that limits our ability is the attraction and retention of talent. We are the first or second largest employer of new grads from S&T and Missouri. Ron, would you like to say anything?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Ron Coker. I'm Senior Vice President at Burns McDonnell. I'm just here to support as well with questions. I will say that we certainly appreciate our partnership with the state of Missouri. It's allowed us to call Missouri home for 128 years and Kansas City home for 128 years, and we look forward to doing that for many years to come.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for the witness? Senator Lewis?
Thank you. Now that I know what bill we're on, I just want to say thank you for your partnership. They're located in Senate District 7. You're a great community partner, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Any further questions? Senator Washington?
Yeah, what bill number are we on?
This is 1425.
Okay. So I think you're a horrible partner. I just what would make you a lot better is if you would open up a lot, some sort of center east of Troost in Senate District 9. But seriously, I definitely I want to echo what my senator to my left said, and I think when we talked yesterday, there were concerns about Burns and Mac's potential moving over to Kansas, as some of our other folks have done. I won't mention the people with the red and gold, but I will mention places that folks are not familiar with are Kansas City, Missouri entities like AMC Theater, now Lockton Insurance, Applebee's, who have all left us to go less than a mile to the west. So we appreciate your commitment, and I am hoping that we can get this through to continue to help you do what you do for our community, which is not just some of the best building, but also employment and your community outreach as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Anyone else in favor? Just for, can I see a show of hands, who is here to testify on this bill? Please begin when you're ready.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, again, Chance Hepla with the Missouri Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We just want to go on record in support of this legislation. As you all know, this particular program, we believe it signals to Missouri businesses, both within Missouri and then businesses outside of the state, that we are open for business. A number of things that why we're supportive of this industry. One, it continues to foster a friendly business environment, both for, again, businesses here in the state, but also to those looking to headquarter in the area. It also provides further assurances and long-term stability for those businesses by moving this sunset from 2031 to 2040. And then lastly, and one of the most important things that we value, it essentially spurs economic development and creates good-paying jobs, and that is why we're, again, happy to go on support of this legislation. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Do you have any questions for the witness? Seeing none. Anyone else
Thank
in
you.
favor?
Mr. Chairman, Shannon Cooper representing the Greater Kansas City Chamber of Commerce, as well as the Civic Council of Greater Kansas City. We just want to go on record in support of this legislation. And as I testified yesterday in the House, not only are, Burns and Mac a great employer in the Kansas City region, but they're also a great civic partner, and we often have endeavors locally, and they're always one of the first companies to step forward and help out our community. So we think this legislation definitely helps keep them here and helps them get new, good employees to move into our region. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for the witness? Seeing none.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Last call. Anyone in favor? Anyone here in opposition? Informational purposes only. Senator, do you have any closing remarks?
No, thank you for the hearing, Mr. Chair.
This now concludes the hearing for Senate Bill 1425. We're going to go ahead and break for a second to establish a quorum. Secretary, please call the roll.
Senators Brown,
Aye. Here.
Gregory 21, Gregory 15, Lewis, Schnelting, Trent, Washington. We have a quorum.
And since we have a quorum, I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session. I have a second. We are in executive session. I move that Senate Bill 1481 be brought before the committee. Do I have a second? I have a second. This is Senator Henderson's bill we heard 2 weeks ago. Senate Bill 1481 modifies provisions relating to the wireless emergency telephone service charges. I move that the committee vote do pass Senate Bill 1481. Do I have a second? Second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Senators Brown,
Aye.
Gregory 21. Gregory 15. Lewis.
No.
Schnelting. Trent. Washington. By your vote of 3 to 2, you have voted to do pass Senate Bill 1481.
I move that Senate Bill 1196 be brought before the committee. Do I have a second? I have a second. This is also Senator Henderson's bill. This one we heard last week. Senate Bill 1196 modifies provisions relating to grants for certain workforce training programs. I move that the committee vote do pass Senate Bill 1196. Do I have a second? Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Senators Brown,
Aye.
Gregory 21, Gregory 15, Lewis, Schnelting, Trent, Washington. By your vote of 5 to 0, you have voted to do pass Senate Bill 1196.
I move that Senate Bill 1402 be brought before the committee. Do I have a second? I have a second. This is Senator Coleman's bill we heard last week. Senate Bill 1402 modifies the sales tax exemption for the sale of certain medical devices. I move that the committee vote do pass Senate Bill 1402. Do I have a second? Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Senators Brown,
Aye.
Gregory 21, Gregory 15, Lewis, Schnelting, Trent, Washington.
I'm voting aye, but that's to get on
By your vote of 4 to 1, you have voted to do pass Senate Bill 1402.
I move that the committee take up Senate Bill 961. Do I have a second? This is Senator Roberts' legislation, which modifies the historic preservation tax credit. Senator May presented this bill last week since he was out, and there is a Senate committee substitute which has been distributed, makes some technical changes, and adds an emergency clause. I move that the committee adopt Senate substitute for Senate Bill 961. Do I have a second? I have a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We have adopted the Senate committee substitute for Senate Bill 961. I now move that the committee vote Senate committee substitute for Senate Bill 961 do pass. Do I have a second? I have a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Senators Brown,
Aye.
Gregory 21, Gregory 15, Lewis, Schnelting, Trent, Washington. By your vote of 5 to 0, you have voted to do pass Senate committee substitute for Senate Bill 961.
One more. I move that the committee take up Senate Bill 1534. Do I have a second? I have a second. This is Senator Nicola's legislation, which excludes credit card and debit card processing fees from being subject to sales tax as gross receipts. There's a Senate committee substitute, which has already been distributed and was presented on by Senator Nicola just last week. I move that the committee adopt Senate committee substitute for Senate Bill 1534. Do I have a second? I have a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? We have adopted the Senate committee substitute. I now move that the committee vote Senate committee substitute for Senate Bill 1534 do pass. Do I have a second? I have a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Senators Brown,
Aye.
Gregory 21, Gregory 15, Lewis, Schnelting, Trent, Washington. By your vote of 5 to 0, you have voted to do pass Senate committee substitute for Senate Bill 1534.
And I make a motion we exit executive session.
I'm sorry, we're sorry. We messed up.
Can we change?
Can we change our vote?
Is-
Yeah, I think okay, so you're both no. So correction on that. Senator Washington votes no, and Senator Lewis votes no. So the bill passes 3-2. And that is Senate Committee substitute for Senate Bill 1534.
I now make a motion to exit executive session. Do I have a second? We are out of executive session. Next bill we will be hearing is Senate Bill 1079. Senator Gregory, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Curtis Gregory, State Senate District 21, presenting Senate Bill 1079 relating to the SHOMO tax credit. We initially passed this in 2023. Now Secretary of State Denny Hoskins, Senate sponsor. I was the House sponsor. When it was passed, there was two buckets of money, $8 million for film like James Bond, Top Gun, that you'll go watch at the movie theater, and then $8 million for episodics, which is going to be Navy, NCIS, Ozark, et cetera, the episodic type series. There was talk at that time of maybe just making it one pot of money, but we decided things were going smoothly, so we'll leave it as two separate ones because that's what people were familiar with, so we did that. This legislation would make it just one pot of money in hopes to maybe lure a bigger type blockbuster type film here to the state of Missouri, and then also asking to extend the sunset date to 2035. So no bigger cap, just making it one pool of money instead of two.
Do we have any questions? Senator Lewis?
To be continued.
Yes, ma'am.
So this summer, we had the opportunity to go see the filming of Ted Lasso.
Correct.
In the best Senate district in the state of Missouri. And
Is that
and correct me if I'm wrong, I remember that they specifically, that Jason Sudeikis wanted to film in Kansas, but they specifically chose Missouri because of this tax credit.
honestly, Senator, I do not remember that. I was somewhat late getting up there that day.
Okay, yeah, okay. Well, I see head nods.
So then,
and-
sure, that whatever they're doing behind me, that's what
Yeah.
I agree with.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm glad that somebody chose Missouri over Kansas for once.
Exactly, thank you.
Hopefully, there's another thing that'll choose Missouri sometime very soon also. There's an R on their hat.
Senator Washington.
Could you get us the numbers on how much of the credits, once the tax, once taxes have been filed, on how much was actually allocated for the last year?
15.7 million was allocated in 2025 is what I have in front of me.
Okay,
So that left 300,000.
okay, we appreciate that.
But the main hopes in this is that sometimes it may not be just enough to get a big film here.
You mean like DTF St. Louis that decided not to film in Missouri because our tax credits are not at the same level as other places?
Correct. Georgia is currently running uncapped, so they can take as many productions as they want to.
And it's created a lot of economic prosperity for Georgia, right?
That is my understanding. That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
And just like Ozark, that was also filmed in Georgia. I did Career Day in Pilot Grove yesterday. And
Yeah, they
all knew
the
about the show.
beginning part is like
They all knew about the show Ozark, and I asked them, "Or is that filmed?" They're like, "Lake of the Ozarks."
No.
You're wrong. That was filmed in Georgia.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you.
Any further questions? Seeing none, anyone that would like to testify in favor, please come forward and begin when you're ready.
Good morning, and thank you for having us here today. My name is Kelly Hyatt. I am the head of the St. Louis Film Office, and we're under the umbrella of Explore St. Louis. In 2023, my family of four decided to leave California, where I had been working for 10 years, to move back to Chicago. We had actually heard that Missouri passed their tax incentives, so we quickly and enthusiastically decided to move to St. Louis instead. We were able to buy a home there. My children are able to travel, playing statewide travel sports, and we enjoy a quality of life that is not possible in other regions. I've been in the industry for 30 years, so I'm of deep-rooted understanding of what tax incentives can do and how important they are. When I graduated from film school in Chicago, I was able to stay there, work there, buy a house there simply because of the infusion of productions that came into Illinois through the tax incentive. The state of Missouri has over 30 multimedia programs embedded into our colleges. Keeping our young people in Missouri working so that they can buy homes, raise their families, and become prosperous members of the production ecosystem is a pipeline for years to come for positive economic growth. The St. Louis region, minus DTF St. Louis, has seen exceptional impact because of the incentive. I know firsthand a GRIP in our region was able to buy a GRIP warehouse space and within 2 years has had to buy another space to accommodate the business. A freelance makeup artist now has national representation and has had to hire additional staff to keep up with his ever-changing business. And a local catering company that was on the brink of going out of business got the call to cater 3 meals a day for 200 people for a film shoot, allowing them to grow their business. The Missouri Motion Tax Incentive is not a Hollywood handout. It's an investment in economic development statewide. The state needs to adhere to our growth in the ever-changing marketplace. We can do that by simply combining our incentive into one $16 million fund. It has no impact on the overall funding, yet it'll make a huge impact on winning additional business for our region. Lastly, extending our sunset. Most businesses that predict long-term growth, and with that comes a large investment. Those investments are studio spaces, one of which with the DTF we weren't able to provide, and then also it lays the groundwork for workforce development. Thank you very much for hearing me today, and if you have any questions.
Senator Washington.
Thank you for being here today. Just from my understanding, we're only doing 2 things here, and we are combining the authorization to a total of, we're keeping it at 16 million. We're just not delineating that it has to be 8 and 8, right?
Exactly.
And then the second thing is to extend the actual sunset.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? Seeing none, next up in favor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I did.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and board members here. I appreciate the opportunity. My name is Ken Childers, and I am the Director of Outreach of the Southwest Missouri Film Office, as well as the Ozarks Film Foundry. The 2 things that I am very proud of is the fact that those 2 organizations are happy that with this tax credits that we can level the playing field. And even down there along the border above the other state that has tax credits, we can offer those too. So it's very happy that we have this going on. I am the grandson of an actor. And when I was a little kid, I was always worried that Grandpa was going to run off to Hollywood. He doesn't have to. He's not with us, but at the same time, we can keep more people here. And the other thing that we're doing with the Ozarks Film Foundry is we are educating those in those college programs and letting them stay here before they have to move off because they think they have to run to another state. We are one of 38 states with film tax credits now, and I'm happy that you make it possible that we are in the top 5. So it's a very, very big difference. The latest one we just had shot down in our neck of the woods, down in Branson, was a holiday family Christmas down at Silver Dollar City. Our very own Cole Payne, who will be up here in a minute, was very active on that project, and it's spreading out all over the state. So we're very, very happy that you have given us this opportunity. And I think that by extending the sunset, it'll make a big difference when it comes to investment, and we'll be able to bring more people here. It's a great family atmosphere, and the people who will visit a place where their favorite movie was set is also growing. And Missouri loves its tourism from that standpoint. And down in Southwest Missouri, we have the lakes, the rivers, the mountains, and everything else that is the Ozarks. And we can say we are the Ozarks instead of the one that was shot in Georgia. So it makes a big difference. I appreciate your time. Is there any questions?
Do we have any questions for the witness? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
Next up in favor.
Did you fill one of these out?
Make sure you didn't. My apologies.
Gotta find the right one here. Good morning. My name is Jeff Gowing. I'm a fellow Missourian from a small town of Warwick, Missouri. I started in the film industry at the age of 18 and later moved to Los Angeles to build my career in film transportation. In 2001, I founded Basecraft LLC, a small transportation rental company. In 2004, I worked on The Ray Charles Story, one of the first films to benefit from Louisiana's tax incentive program. Over the next 16 years, I built a fleet of 540 production vehicles in the state of Missouri and worked on numerous film and television productions nationwide. In 2022, when I heard of Missouri was considering the film tax credit, I moved part of my operation back home. I believe in this state and believe in its potential. However, we do continue to lose productions to other states and countries that offer more competitive incentives. Creating one $16 million fund would help Missouri attract larger productions, create more jobs, and generate significant local spending. Productions love working here. They just need to be more, Missouri just needs to be more competitive. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you for your testimony. Do you have any questions? Seeing none. Next up, they would like to testify in favor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just a show of hands, how many do we have left that are here to testify in favor of this bill? Anyone here to testify in opposition? Proceed when you're ready.
I'd like to thank the chair and this esteemed committee for hearing my testimony on behalf of Senate Bill 1079. My name is Cole Payne. I'm from Russellville, Missouri. I am currently the president of Film and Mo, which is a nonprofit advocacy for filming in the state of Missouri. And I'm also a film producer myself that has produced over 30 feature films across the United States and several other countries. Now that this incentive is in place, I can stay home. I've personally brought 6 productions to the state and spent millions of dollars. And this is an incentive that also equalizes the state, that it doesn't just stay in one area. I've been in Jefferson City, I've been in Branson, I've been in Westphalia, Missouri, Folk, Missouri, High Point, California, Missouri. This is really something that can go beyond the big cities and to all the small and rural communities throughout the state. We also, as part of a Film in Missouri or Film in Mo organization, do apprentice training programs to get people registered with the state. I have personally done 2 of those programs and hired people directly out of them on productions. So I'm seeing that this is working and we're transitioning those students right into our workforce. How this credit works is we talked about there's 15.7 that's been spent, but we would have had more if we would have had a bigger incentive. There's productions that are passing us by just because we didn't have enough money left. But for that 15.7 in tax credits, we got over $40 million in cash we otherwise would not have had in this state. Because I can say, as a producer, we do not go to states that don't have incentives. So to keep this industry here, we have to keep this incentive in place, and that is why it's important to extend this sunset, and then also, put this together so we can get a little bit bigger productions coming in. This is also a program that doesn't fit well into the REMI model because it's not talking about all the money that goes directly into Missourians' pockets and Missouri businesses. We don't come in and hire your construction company workers away from you. We hire your construction company to build our sets. And we usually pay a premium because we need it now and we need it fast. So there's just not another industry and a program that I think that really injects cash into the state, into our people's pockets like this one does. This is also a credit that is issued after the audit. So you don't get it up front. Yes, the credit is earmarked for you, but there is a private Missouri CPA that audits it, and then the state, and then the credit is issued. So in exchange for millions of dollars spent up front, we issue some tax credits a little bit after. So I just really think it's important to extend this sunset so we can grow this workforce and we can start getting some of these brick and mortar businesses, because as everyone knows, people aren't going to start building buildings without knowing an industry is going to be around for a while. I thank you for hearing my testimony. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you. Do you have any questions? Seeing none. Next up in favor. And since we have a good amount of people left to testify and we have to hear another bill after this still, I'm going to ask you to please try to keep your remarks limited to 3 minutes or less. begin when you're ready.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is John Mayfield. I'm with the City of Independence. I'm not going to regurgitate statistics. I think you've heard enough. Just kind of quickly, there was a Hallmark movie. I can't say all of the name of it now because I'm very angry about a certain businessman here in Missouri. But they came to Kansas City and Independence in 2024. As was mentioned by the previous witness, they hire local folks. When they need a hammer or they need some nails that they forgot, they go to the local hardware store. They don't get it from Amazon. They don't get it UPS. They get it there. And this production, which would not have happened without the film tax credit, brought a lot of notoriety to our city. And I just wanted to share with you some of the media attention that we got, in addition to anecdotal evidence from visitors saying, I saw this movie in Hallmark and I just had to come here and see the movie theater, the bowling alley. Just really quickly, and we want to thank Senator Gregory, which I should have done that in the beginning. I'm a little nervous. Sorry about that, Senator. But I want to thank the Senator for bringing this bill forward. We're not asking for more money, which is probably a pleasant surprise for you. But the print online media exposure we received were 20 stories. The publicity value was a little over $215,000 we wouldn't have had for our community without it. It reached a little over 23 million people. And then the television coverage, which went worldwide, there were 243 stories and mentions. The publicity value that we didn't have to spend was $228,667 with a total reach of 4.3 million people. So this movie brought exposure to Kansas City Independence to close to 30 million people. So that's why we support the film tax credit. And I thank you very much for your time, Mr. Chairman. I'm open to any questions. Otherwise, I'll leave you alone.
Thank you for your testimony. Do we have any questions? Senator Lewis?
Good morning.
Good morning, Senator.
I just wanted to say hi, welcome back to the Capitol. Thank you for your service.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that very much, Senator. Thanks for remembering.
All right.
Any further questions? Seeing none, thank you. Next up in favor.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, again, Chance Eplow with the Missouri Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We just want to go on record in support of this legislation. It's been mentioned already, but again, this legislation specifically presents a great opportunity for growth here in the state, as we've all seen with exclusive shows being produced on Hulu and Netflix, and the breadth of what goes on in TV and movies now. Filmmakers and producers are looking for new opportunities outside of traditional hubs like Hollywood, and so we understand that Missouri is on the cusp of something great with this opportunity. We have beautiful rural spaces, we have beautiful urban spaces, suburban areas for film locations. In particular, on the economic impact, in 2025 alone, we saw approximately $40.7 million in economic impact as a result of this tax incentive. And so with that, we are very much in support of this. It's a great impact on our state. It's a great impact on our employers. And it's a great impact on the economic development of the state of Missouri. And again, with that, happy to take any questions.
Do we have any questions for the witness? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Next up in favor, please begin when you're ready.
Good morning. My name is Evie Craig, and I am Vice President of Missouri Citizens for the Arts, and I'm giving our enthusiastic support for this bill. The two measures that it plans to get rid of the two buckets, which are somewhat arbitrary, and to extend the sunset, are really vital to be able to support a nimble, robust industry and to build for future artistic endeavors. My day job is executive director of the Arts Asylum, and we have a program called Tech Theater Training, which we do in partnership with Starlight Theater, and we train young people for technical jobs in the performing arts, but also in theater. We want these young people not just to get good jobs, but we want them to stay in Missouri with good jobs. And I think knowing that these measures will be here for the long haul will contribute greatly to that, and therefore to the benefit of our state in the future. And I just wanted to say, Senator Lewis, I actually happened to be in Wichita for a Kansas arts gathering when the infamous Ted Lasso filming was happening, and I was afraid I was going to have to ask for an escort to my car. They were so angry. So we want to have that happening here, and we appreciate what the senator has done. I think you said to me that there was a lumberyard in Marshall that got so much business one year. Oklahoma, I'm sorry. So we could see something like that happening in Marshall. So thank you so much for this, and I hope you will continue to support this.
Thank you. Do you have any questions for the witness? Seeing none. Anyone else in favor? Please come forward and begin when you're ready.
Good afternoon. Matthew Smith with Associated Industry of Missouri. We just want to go on record in support of this bill.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Seeing none. Next up in favor.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Will Mars on behalf of the Branson Lakes Area Chamber of Commerce. Just want to go on record in support. We've already benefited quite a bit from this. There's been a few movies filmed in the Branson area, and we just want to continue to see that success.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Seeing none. Anyone else in favor?
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, my name is Tracy Kimberlin. I represent the Missouri Association of Convention and Visitor Bureaus, and we very much support this common sense bill.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Seeing none. Anyone else in favor? Going once, going twice. Anyone here to testify in opposition?
Members of the committee, my name is Elias Chapelis from the Show Me Institute. I will keep it brief. I brought some written testimony, but as was briefly alluded to before, this is something that is, the film tax credit is something that's all across the country, and there's been numerous studies on this program, and frankly, it just isn't a good investment for the state in terms of the return on investment. That's just what the studies have shown on this, and at a time where we have a budget crunch or, talking about broader tax policy changes, it just, I think right now is not necessarily the time to extend the sunset on a program like this. Just to go back I guess about a decade now, this was one of the few programs that Missouri studied and found that it was not a good investment, and so we got rid of it. And then we brought it back. So I will just leave it with that, and if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Do you have any additional information on the study?
Sure, yeah. I have some in this written testimony that I'll leave up here, but just a couple, I think it was 2 years ago. So Georgia, the state that everyone looks to for, where all the productions are going, specifically the DTF St. Louis, they are spending an uncapped amount there, and their study showed the state return on investment was a little over 10 cents on the dollar. So you're looking at spending a lot of money for the state to receive a pretty small amount in return. I think for the most part, states are in this because it's sort of nice to go see Ted Lasso filmed, just in terms of where state dollars could go. It just hasn't worked out to be a good investment. There are plenty of other things the state can invest in that have proven higher returns, and that is, there are tons of studies. I will be happy to follow up with them, but I also have some cited in my written testimony that I have here.
So you said bad return on investment, but if they're receiving a tax credit, but that's business that wouldn't have been in the state in the first place, then just maybe you have something in writing that you could send me that I could look over.
Yeah. Just briefly, The alternative for the tax credit, so this is $16 million. The state could spend that $16 million on something else that would then generate more spending. I think it was mentioned before, the $16 million from the film tax credit led to $40 million of investment. There are other, avenues to look at of where you could generate more spending than that. I mean, ultimately, you're talking about putting $16 million state dollars towards a specific industry where, even better economically would be to distribute that to all Missourians. But
Okay.
I will send more to you.
Thank you. Senator Lewis?
Yeah, I'm interested in the information because, to me, generating $40 million is a significant amount of money. And, just to clarify, while it was neat to see the filming, I think what was more impactful is the production itself, the amount of jobs locally for just that one, couple weeks of filming. That is real jobs, real dollars for our community.
Senator Washington?
Hi, thank you for being here. I saw a couple of questions. You said you were at the Show Me Institute?
Yep.
You all are against tax credits in general, right?
Economic development tax credits, yes.
Okay. What tax credits are you in favor of?
Well, personally,
give me
I'm not
one.
in favor. The ESA tax credit.
Oh. So if we take away from poor public school kids and give that to rich people that go to private school, you're okay with that?
Well, personally, I'm a budget person that doesn't do that, but that's the Show Me Institute.
Okay, but you're here on behalf of the Show Me Institute right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you said in Georgia it's only a 10-cent return,
Yeah.
but the industry studies show that there's a $6.30 return for every dollar invested. So please get us whatever those studies are. But I also want to focus on, you said that the state could spend their money on something else.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what a tax credit is?
Could you clarify what?
Because this is not the state spending $16 million. This is those who invest more than $16 million are allowed to take a credit against their taxes. So the reason that the economic impact is positive, because if they don't spend the money, there's no credit to be had. This is not dollars that are we're not writing checks for this. This is, hey, thank you for coming to our community and investing in our community, giving jobs, as Senator Lewis said, bringing, I think someone talked about, one of the witnesses, buying hamburgers with us. I'm from Kansas City, buying barbecue and hotel stays or whatever the case may be. And then once those who are creating these opportunities, they file their taxes, they can take a credit against what they owe.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
Well, when you said the state could spend their money on something else, then that kind of confused me because it's not a spend.
Foregoing $16 million is roughly equivalent to spending 16.
No, sir, it's not, because if they don't invest, there's no $16 million to credit. Do you not see that? If I don't go to Walmart, I don't pay sales tax, and Walmart don't get my money. But if Walmart says, hey, come to Walmart, and you a frequent flyer, we'll give you 50 cents off every $5 you spend. I only get the 50 cents off if I go spend the $5. That's different than Walmart automatically giving me 50 cents.
I completely understand what you're saying. I'd be happy to discuss this more with you or send you more from my.
Okay, and then my last thing, since
Sure.
we're picking, since
Yeah.
you were picking on Georgia. I don't even like this person. But are you aware that because of the influx of filming in Georgia, they now have multiple billionaires? They have taken dilapidated headquarters of organizations, namely Delta, and revamped that into a film what do you call that, where they, you know, more, yeah, big studio. They have revived and paid to the United States government. They purchased a old, dilapidated military base. And the city and the metropolitan area has more than tripled in size because of their film credits. Are you aware of that?
I'm not aware of the example you cited. I just am aware.
You
of
ever
the
heard of
study.
Tyler Perry?
Yes, I have.
You know, he was homeless before the tax credits, and now he's a billionaire.
Yeah, one of the results of the Missouri Tax Credit Review Commission, when they looked at the film tax credit, was talking about the difference between, you know, temporary jobs versus permanent jobs. And as it sounds like you were describing in Georgia, those jobs have turned into more permanent.
Well, I wouldn't say an actor's job is permanent, but it is the opportunity to have a place to act. So let's just stick with the actors, and many of them, and I'm just going to stick with Tyler Perry, and no, I'm not the biggest fan, but actors have said because that's the most they've ever made before. Mr. Perry says that's the reason I'm able to provide a higher rate of pay is because Georgia has provided tax credits for me to do what I do. But I'll leave it at that. If you have studies that you can give to us, please do. But I think we're pretty consistent here that we're for economic development, especially when I look at Georgia, and 30 years ago, Atlanta was this big and the suburbs were dirt, and now it's a large metropolis. Thank you.
Anything else? Senator Gregory.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for being here. As a matter of fact, I am more often inclined to agree with you than not when it comes to tax credits. I do, though, have a very strong position of I think some tax credits are awesome and work. I think some don't. And the problem we have here in the legislature, certainly the Missouri General Assembly more specifically, is that we think we just give a tax credit and boom, it works. Oh, this is great. All these people are going to flow in for $16 million. This is going to be the greatest investment in the whole wide world. No, we need to sit and take a look. It could work. It could not. People are filming here with or without the tax credit every single day, every single year. The question is, how much does this specific program work in this specific state? Is it enough? Is it easy to implement? Is it not easy to implement? Is it working? That is the question. And too often we think tax credits work, period, end of story, let's do them. And let's do them willy-nilly anytime we can, as much as we can. And that is a massive mistake. So I wanted to say thank you. I am interested in your study. And of course, I'll make my own decision as to whether or not I think that the study is accurate. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that would like to testify in opposition? Seeing none, anyone here for informational purposes only?
Hello, my name is Andrea Sporsick-Klund. I'm the director of the Missouri Film Office, and I'm here to answer any questions, but I did want to clarify. I think the gentleman that preceded me was speaking about fiscal impact. And in the past, the REMI model, and one of our other testimonies kind of explained that the REMI model doesn't show all of the things. So ROI and economic impact are two different things. Economic impact is the direct spend, which is the $40.7 million, plus the indirect spend that we cannot fully track, plus the induced spending that we cannot track. So the REMI model for sure is not looking at those. So we are trying to look at other models and ways that we can show what the industry is truly bringing in. And as far as them filming here anyway, we had 10 long years without a tax credit. And yes, there was filming at a level, but not to this level. So we had 9 projects over $1 million last year and 3 over $3 million. So to get those bigger projects that truly train our workforce, we need to be able to put the pots together. So I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Seeing none. Anyone else for informational purposes only? Seeing none, Senator, do you have any closing remarks?
Thank you for the hearing.
This concludes the hearing for Senate Bill 1079. Our final bill being heard today is Senate Bill 1620. Senator Gregory of the 15th this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of this outstanding committee. David Gregory, St. Louis County 15. I will be 60 seconds or less. This is the most exciting legislation of the year. Senate Bill 1620. It is the rounding bill. Here's the deal. The Federal Reserve has stopped making pennies. So for cash transactions moving forward, as the penny disappears, it's going to be next to impossible to pay certain amounts on the cent. So all this does is say, hey, we can round up or down to the nearest nickel. And it protects our vendors from doing that rounding without any, liability or lawsuits. So with that, this same bill passed out of the House committee from Representative Shields, 9-0. I'll take any questions.
Do you have any questions for the Senator? Senator Lewis?
Good afternoon, Senator, or good morning still. I agree with you. This is an exciting bill. I'm a big math fan, and when I was reading it, and we're rounding up for these numbers, rounding down, so just wanted to say I share your enthusiasm with this bill.
Thanks.
Any further questions? Seeing none. Anyone that would like to testify in favor of this bill, please come forward.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I'm Zach White, the Legislative Director for Missouri Department of Revenue. Just wanted to state, with the last circulation of pennies, they were struck in 2025, and there's no more going to be produced. We really think we worked together with the business community and put together this legislation to give the business community a clear understanding of what they can do or if they were to go to rounding. This bill authorizes rounding on the final total cash sale to the nearest 5 cents, giving businesses that clear, consistent rule. Because I can tell you when this started coming to fruition, I was getting calls daily from people like, are you guys going to put out any guidance? Are you guys going to say anything about this? But per the current statute, we wouldn't be able to give them any guidance because we had no leeway to suggest for them to be able to round to the nearest 5 cents. And then again, like I said, without that explicit authority to legally round, retailers and cash-dependent businesses could face uncertainty and potential compliance risk. One of the other things is importantly, this bill doesn't change what people owe in tax. So they will pay the tax that's owed. It only streamlines how final cash totals are handled when you can't make exact change when pennies are no longer being minted. Because rounding applies only to the final cash total and not to electronic or card payments, it ensures that it's going to be easily followed by businesses. And again, it's a may on rounding. It's not a shall on rounding, so the business can make that decision for themselves when they do that. And with that, I would take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Seeing none.
Oh, I got off scot-free on that one.
Anyone else that would like to testify in favor? Just a show of hands, how many people are here that plan to testify on this bill? All right, we're going to limit everybody to 2 minutes since we're getting a little closer.
No problem, Mr. Chairman. Ron Leone, Executive Director for the Missouri Petroleum and Convenience Association. I represent gas stations, convenience stores, truck stops, lots of cash transactions, as you can imagine. My members are already experiencing a penny shortage, and it's getting tighter and tighter every day. So we're grateful for the sponsor to provide my members with some guidance as we're going forward, because this problem will get worse. It doesn't impact electronic transactions, of course, but again, we deal with a lot of cash, and so we're going to need some help on that. We appreciate this committee's looking at that and hopefully providing that guidance. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Do we have any questions to the witness? Seeing none, thank you.
Thanks.
Next up in favor, please come forward.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is David Oberfeld. I'm the president of the Missouri Retailers Association and a lobbyist for the Missouri Grocers Association, and we do support the bill and the substitute.
Do we have any questions? Seeing none, thank you. Next up in favor.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Chance Hepla with the Missouri Chamber of Commerce. Just want to go on record in support of this bill. Similar sentiments to previous witnesses. This just provides clarity for many of our businesses, and we're happy to go on the record and happy to take any questions as well.
Thank you. Do you have any questions to the witness? Seeing none.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in favor? Anyone in opposition? Anyone for informational purposes only? Senator, do you have any closing remarks? This concludes the hearing for Senate Bill 1620. With no further business coming before the committee, I make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? We are adjourned.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Frank.
Yeah,
absolutely. I appreciate it.
You bet.